Hey, this is Rob and this is Folly Coffee Quick Hitter. Let's go. It's ironic that I'm drinking coffee when I'm about to spill some tea. But a Folly Coffee Quick Hitter is a 5 to 7 minute answer to common coffee questions. And this week's Quick Hitter is not so much a question, but a second not 5-star review we have received on Folly Coffee Beans. I don't want to make it sound like I'm bragging, but we don't really get that many bad reviews. We take a lot of pride in the flavor and quality of our coffees, and we hope that the way we describe them, that when you order them online, you are completely satisfied with your Folly Coffee experience. But we have received our second not 5-star review, and I wanted to address it because, ironically, it is the exact same feedback. And I am okay with not getting a 5-star review if the end coffee drinker just didn't like our flavor profile, because that will happen. We don't roast dark. There are dark roaster drinkers out there. I get it. But in this case, the 3-star review we received was for dry beans. That's it. Nothing else in the review except for dry beans. And the reason it just doesn't sit with me right is because I think there is a misconception behind dry beans or oily beans. A lot of people perceive oily beans as being fresh, and this is true with dark roast only. There are 2 cracks in the roasting process. When you roast coffee, there's a certain level in which that unroasted coffee reaches in the temperature curve on the roasting curve, where there is a rapid expulsion of gases, mostly CO2, and it creates an audible crack in the roasting process. And this is important because this is the first point in the roasting process where you can grind and brew coffee beans. When you continue to roast, there is a second crack as well, another expulsion of gases. And this is where you get into the dark roast territory. Beans that are roasted past second crack are beans that are oily. I think you may see where this is going. So if you see oily coffee beans, this means this is fresh roasted dark roast. If you see dry beans, that means it was roasted in between first and second crack. All of our coffees are roasted in between first and second crack. And so none of our coffee beans are going to be oily. So I think there are people out there that think, and this is fair because we've been marketed by some of the larger companies with this message for years, is that the oil means it's fresh. This is true for dark roast. It is not true for lighter roasted coffee. In fact, I think when you see oily coffee beans, there is a higher risk that these beans are going to be bitter, burnt, dry, because dark roasted coffees run that risk. There are many companies that buy cheaper coffee beans and roast it dark to cover up the imperfections in that coffee. We want to bring out the true natural flavor of the high-end beans that we're sourcing, so we only roast just past first crack to bring out these natural flavors. So the short of the long is, oil on the coffee beans occurs after second crack in the roast. Beans that are roasted past second crack in the roast are, in my opinion, dark roast. There are some companies that will have oily coffee beans that are a medium roast. I think anything past second crack is definitely a dark roasted coffee. Beans that do not show oil are either, 1, not fresh dark roasts, but that's not going to be us, or roasted in between first and second crack. This is us. So when people get our coffee beans, they open the bag and see that there's not that oil, there's not that shine, there's not that sheen. For us, it's still fresh roasted. I don't know how to explain it any further than that, but that's all I can think to say on that, because it's a recurring theme, and I wanted to address it, and it's a common question. So next time you go to the store, if you're looking at the bulk bins and you see like the bins with oily coffees, that means that they're freshly roasted dark coffees. If you open any of our coffee bags, any of our Folly coffees, they are not going to be oily because they are lighter roasted to bring out that natural flavor without the bitterness. Except for our darkest day roast available through the end of October. Let's end this episode on a shameless plug. That's your Folly Coffee Quick Hitter. Have a nice day.